What's up guys, Nate and Holly here from The Run Experience. Today we were talking about how to run a sub 4-hour marathon. We're gonna tell you exactly what you need to know to do it, how to execute your training, and even how to execute on race day. All right, when it comes to breaking this 4-hour marathon down and getting under 59.9 seconds, if we're being technical, we want to think about the pace. We got to think about, hey, what is this pace we need to hit so that we can get underneath there? And roughly what we're looking at is about a 9-minute mile. In fact, if you could hit 9-minute mile square or about a 5:38 minute per kilometer pace, for those of you guys not on the empirical system, i.e. the rest of the world, you will be safe. Now you could technically drift upwards of say like a 9:09 or something like that, and still get under 4, but if you kind of stick more towards that 9, that's going to be a better way to go. Now I know a lot of the things we think about, and Holly's going to talk about this in a second, especially when it comes to our long runs, but when we start to get this pace on our head, we start to think about running every single run at that pace, and we're actually going to tell you that that is not the way to go. There's actually going to be some time where you want to spend at that speed, but there's actually going to be a lot of time that you want to be spent training way below that speed and actually training above that speed, and that's going to be to just kind of hit slightly different energy systems in the body. It's going to be training different aspects of your physiology so that you can come together and have a really good race without being beaten up.
All right guys, so we are going to take a look at the long run portion of that marathon training, which we know is a huge chunk of it. Like we said, there's a lot of factors that go into training for a marathon. It's not just about training at that race pace, which Nate was just mentioning, around that 9-minute mile or that 5:38 kilometer speed. The long run should actually be run, most of your long runs should be run 1 to 2 minutes per mile slower, or about 45 seconds per kilometer slower than your race pace. So
why is that, Holly? Why do we want to go slower on some of those long runs?
And it may sound kind of contradictory because long run should equal marathon, right? Like it should just be the same thing. But the reality is a lot of your aerobic conditioning and training your body in the capacity to breathe that way happens at a slower speed, actually. So hammering it out and just really blowing yourself out on every single long run is not going to train your body in the way that it needs to be trained so that it has all those abilities, the breathing, the aerobic capacity to handle it on marathon day. Yeah.
So a little safer, and I get all the benefits I need to out of the long run, which is the purpose for that, but I minimize beating myself up and running into a wall.
Totally. So that's something to remember, that the bulk of those long runs will be run a little bit slower. However, this is a good opportunity, a good opportunity to work on that negative split. So using the last 30 minutes or so of your long runs on occasion to then come back to that race pace. So training yourself, your legs are tired, you've been on them for a while. What does it feel like to actually hit race pace in that state of mind, that body, how your legs are feeling, but actually still pushing that, because that is how it's going to be on race day. So
yeah, really learning how to do that, guys, is so good. We can spend some time at race pace, and in fact, for those of you guys who are really ambitiously going after that 4 hours, if I didn't get any exposure there, it probably wouldn't be the best thing. So, like 6 to 8 weeks out of your marathon, when you're starting to see some of those longer runs, you can start to practice running those last 15 minutes, building up to 30 minutes at race pace. That'll be really, really good.
Guys, Coach Holly here, just dropping in to say we've got an awesome way to train for free with us right at the end of this video, so stick around. Hope you're enjoying this one.
Now, when it comes to our marathon training, the thing that always takes all of our attention is that long run, right? We get so excited about the long run. We run with our friends on the weekends. But if you talk to a lot of, experienced marathoners and coaches, what they'll really say is it's actually the rest of the week that's going to make or break your training. And in that rest of the week is a time to actually get some speed work in. That's right, even when you're running that marathon, this inevitably longer, slower event, we actually want to spend some time training ourselves at or above our marathon pace. So for example, if we're going after that 9-minute or 9:08 mile, or is it 5:46?
5:38.
5:30. There we go. 5:38 kilometer per. Why can't I say that? I can't say that right now. I get all tripped up when I get at a minute per mile. I just. If I was in another country,
exactly.
I know. If I was in another country, I'd be totally lost. You guys would have to help me out. But exactly, if we start to spend some time above that pace or below that pace, it's going to be really, really productive. What I would like to start, guys, with is with this, some tempo workouts. Now, these tempo workouts are usually done at between half marathon pace and 10K pace. And a way to think about that, just very, very roughly, we'd be moving from, say, a 9-minute mile to an 8:30 or an 8-minute mile, or even below 8-minute mile. And then if I'm in that kilometer pace, we're looking at getting closer to that 5-minute per kilometer pace as a good way to go. Starting off, maybe 25 minutes worth of tempo total, so I could do 5 by 5 minutes, something like that, and I could build my way up over the next couple weeks to 35, 40, 45 minutes or more worth of tempo. That will really give me some good practice.
All right, guys, the last thing that Nate and I want to talk to you about is putting your practice into play before the marathon. So a great way to do this, it works for a lot of people, is basically picking a half marathon, maybe close to you so there's not a lot of travel involved, but something where you can really just nail down everything that you have been practicing, all the speed work, the long runs and everything, putting it into a smaller distance with a lot less weight on the whole situation. This is just going to be another practice technically, but it is going to be in a race setting. So there are stops involved, you hydration, fueling, nailing down that pace, seeing how you can implement these things in a race scenario. The best thing about this is that you can test it in a way that's not going to just kill you, like the marathon is 4 hours long, hopefully, if all goes well with this. But this is just going to be a lot shorter, so being able to nail those things down, how your body's feeling, seeing how many times you randomly had to go to the bathroom more than once during this half marathon, that should be a little light bulb for you. Is this going to happen during the marathon, and is it going to happen twice as many times? So knowing that beforehand. Simple things like footwear, your clothing, picking that favorite outfit. This is another good place to see.
So there's a lot that goes into that race, so that really come race day, there's no mystery or surprises in terms of what you're eating and drinking and what you're wearing and how you're going to go out on your race and everything else, so you can go and kick butt.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, guys, thanks for watching this video, for sticking with us all the way to the end. Like we mentioned before, we do have an awesome marathon guide, a training guide that we've put together, very extensive. We go through everything about how to get marathon training ready, how to pick the perfect race, what to do when you get injured.
Oh yeah, we do got that in there. Oh, yeah.
You might have had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Just all those things, really just how the whole marathon experience comes together. It's definitely not something you just sign up for, train a couple weeks and then take off. It's never like that, and we know that, so we put something together for you guys. It is free. All you have to do is drop your name and email in the link in the video, and we will send that to you. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that like button at the bottom. If you have a comment or question, anything you want to know, requests for future videos, we are happy to do those for you. Just drop that in the comments below. If you liked this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have brand new stuff coming out every single week. Nutrition, 5K training, marathon, half marathon, workouts, our favorite drills, you name it. We have it all on our channel, so make sure you subscribe to that. And thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next video.